The Mafia, also known as Cosa Nostra, is a Sicilian criminal society which is believed to have emerged in late 19th century Sicily, and the first such society to be referred as the Mafia. It is a loose association of criminal groups that share a common organizational structure and a code of conduct. Each group, known as a family, claims sovereignty over a territory in which it operates its rackets, usually a town or village or a part of a larger city. Offshoots of the Mafia emerged in the United States during the late 19th century, following waves of Italian immigration, but also in Canada and Australia. The Italian-American Mafia emerged in New York's Lower East Side and other areas of the East Coast of the United States during the late 19th century, following waves of Sicilian and Italian immigration. Salvatore Riina, also known as Toto Riina, is a member of the Sicilian Mafia who became the most powerful member of the criminal organization in the early 1980s. Fellow mobsters nicknamed him the Beast due to the violent nature and sometimes the Short One due to his diminutive height. During his lifelong career in crime, he is believed to have personally killed around 40 people and to have ordered the deaths of several hundred more. Frank Costello was a New York City gangster who rose to the top of America's underworld, controlled a vast gambling empire across the United States, and enjoyed political influence. Nicknamed the Prime Minister of the Underworld, he became one of the most powerful and influential mafia bosses in American history, eventually leading the Luciano crime family. Meyer Lansky, also known as the mob's accountant, was a Jewish-American organized crime fighter who, along with his associate Charles Lucky Luciano, was instrumental in the development of the National Crime Syndicate in the United States. Lansky developed a gambling empire which stretched from Saratoga, New York, to Miami, to Council Bluffs, Iowa, and Las Vegas. It also said that he oversaw gambling concessions in Cuba. Although a member of the Jewish Mafia, Lansky undoubtedly had strong influence with the Italian Mafia and played a large role in the consolidation of the criminal underworld. Paul Castello, also known as the Howard Hughes of the mob and Big Paulie, was an American Mafia boss in New York City. He succeeded Carlo Gambino as head of the Gambino crime family at the time, the nation's largest mafia family. In 1985, he was one of the many mafia bosses arrested on the charges of racketeering, which was a result of the Mafia Commission trial. In December of the year, while he was out on bail, Castellano and his bodyguard were shot to death outside Sparks Steakhouse in Manhattan on the orders of John Gotti. Joe Bonanno was a Sicilian-born American mafioso who became a boss of the Bonanno crime family. He was nicknamed Joe Bananas, a name he despised because it implied he was really crazy. Al Capone was an American gangster who led the crime syndicate dedicated to smuggling and bootlegging of liquor and other illegal activities during the Prohibition era of the 1920s and 1930s. Capone began his career in Brooklyn before moving to Chicago and becoming a boss of a criminal organization known as the Chicago Outfit. Those business cards reportedly described him as a used furniture dealer, although he was never successfully convicted of racketeering charges. John Gotti was the boss of the Gambino crime family after the murder of the previous boss, Paul Castellano. John Gotti was the most powerful crime boss during his era. He became widely known for his outspoken personality and flamboyant style that eventually caused his downfall. He was known by the media as the Dapper Don because he wore expensive clothes, and the Teflon Don because of the majority of his attempts to convict him resulted in either a hung jury or an acquittal. Don Vito Genovese was a mafioso who rose to power in America during the Castellano-Marassi War, to later become leader of the Genovese crime family. Genovese served as mentor to many future mob bosses. Carlo Gambino was a mafioso who became boss of the Gambino crime family that still bears this name today. He was one of the several national bosses gathering at the 1957 Appalachian Convention. Gambino was known for being low-key and secretive. Gambino lived to the age of 74 when he died of a heart attack in the bed, in a state of grace, according to the priest who had given him the last rites of the Catholic Church. Charles Luciano was a Sicilian-born American mobster. For the splitting of New York City between 5 different mafia crime families and the establishment of the First Commission. Luciano was considered the father of the modern organized crime in America. He was the first official boss of the modern Genovosa crime family. He was, along with his associates Mayor Lansky, instrumental in the development of the National Crime Syndicate of the United States.